A flame that never died. Every great fire starts with the smallest spark. For Michael Hayes, that spark came on a freezing winter night in Chicago. He was only 15, skinny, hungry, invisible. His mom worked double shifts at a diner. His dad was long gone, and Michael carried a heaviness in his chest that felt worse than hunger. He stopped in front of a department store window. A mannequin stood there in a sharp suit. Michael whispered to himself, "People notice men like that. People respect them. What would it take for someone like me to matter?" Then a homeless man appeared beside him, wrapped in a blanket, holding a cup in his hands. He looked straight at Michael and said, "You got fire in your eyes, kid. Don't let the cold world put it out." And then the man disappeared into the night. Michael didn't understand why those words stuck, but they did. You got fire in your eyes. That was the beginning. High school was brutal. Michael wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the strongest. Bullies treated him like target practice. But every insult, every shove, every rejection, it all became fuel. One day, after another rough afternoon, Michael wandered past a boxing gym. He stopped, listened to the rhythm of gloves pounding heavy bags inside. He walked in. The coach, Frank Russo, looked him over. "You don't look like much," he said. Michael answered quietly, "Then I'll surprise you." From that day forward, the gym became his second home. He trained until his knuckles bled, until sweat poured like rain, until his body screamed for him to quit. But he didn't quit. Coach Russo gave him a nickname, the Human Torch. "Because once you light up, kid," Russo told him, "nobody can put you out." By 21, Michael wasn't just a boxer. He was a fighter in life. He worked 3 jobs, studied business at night, trained every morning. Sleep was a luxury. But he kept going. Friends called him crazy. Professors told him to slow down. Even his mother begged him to rest. But Michael had a vision. He wasn't fighting for trophies. He was fighting for every kid who had ever felt invisible. After a small amateur match he won, Coach Russo asked him, "Why do you keep pushing like this?" Michael, bruised but smiling, said, "Because every punch I throw is proof that I exist. Every drop of sweat reminds me I'm alive. And if I can keep going, maybe someone else will believe they can too." That night, he truly became the Human Torch. But even fire can burn out. At 25, Michael's body began to fail him. Too many fights. Too little rest. He tore a ligament in his shoulder. The doctor told him, "You might never box again." Michael was crushed. Depression hit like a knockout punch. Nights felt darker than ever. One evening, drunk and broken, he stumbled into the same Chicago street where his journey had begun. And there, he saw him, the same homeless man, older now, sitting against a wall. Michael sat beside him and whispered, "I lost it. The fire. It's gone." The man looked at him and said, "Kid, fire doesn't live in your fists. It lives in your heart. You forgot that. Light it again. Not for you, for them, the ones still in the dark." And Michael understood. His fight was bigger than boxing. Michael hung up his gloves, but he didn't walk away from the fire. He started coaching at Russo's gym, training kids who were lost, invisible, searching for purpose. He gave them discipline. He gave them hope. He showed them how to protect their flame. The kids called him Coach Torch. But Michael didn't stop there. He finished college. He launched a community foundation. He started giving motivational talks. One of his speeches went viral. Millions watched Michael say these words: "Don't be afraid of failing. Don't be afraid of being different. A flame shines brightest in the dark. Be the flame Michael Hayes, once invisible, was now a beacon of light." Years later, Michael stood on stage in New York, a sold-out arena, 10,000 people waiting to hear his story. He looked at the crowd, kids, parents, dreamers, fighters. Tears filled his eyes. He raised his fist and declared, "I was once just a boy on the streets, cold, hungry, invisible, but I lit my fire, and I refuse to let the world put it out. That's why they call me the Human Torch. And you've got the same fire. Don't hide it, don't fear it. Burns so bright, the world has no choice but to notice. The arena erupted. Michael smiled. And in that moment, he knew his flame would never die, because he had passed it on. And a flame shared is a flame eternal.